Hi everyone, it's Doris Colgate again with Steve Colgate, continuing our series on hashtag Dockside Chats with Steve. So, next step after you lost your rudder, what happened, Steve?
Well, it was very interesting. We went down below to check on the steering quadrant and all of lines and so on there, and everything was intact. So then we realized that we'd lost our rudder. And Clayton Ewing, who's the owner of the boat, is a very thorough guy, and he had actually magnafluxed the rudder post earlier on to make sure that it was solid and there was no problems with it. But there was. I guess it was just that broach was just too much strain on the rudder post, and it sheared off right at the hull. This is an aluminum boat. It was a Dyna, its name. It's 48 feet yawl, and it was solid, and there was no problem leaking or anything like that. But we were without a rudder. So the first few hours of that day, it built up. The wind built up to around 60 knots, and it was pretty easy to sail because all we had to do was set up a couple of jibs, one winged out and one on the other side, and we were just pulled downwind. Our distance or our course to the Eddystone Light was a downwind course, which is pretty easy if that's all you're going to do is have some jibs pull you downwind. But then that sort of lightened up, and we had a problem with the fact that the mainsail would overpower. We took the mainsail down and the mizzen down originally because of the wind strength. And the mainsail would overpower the sail, the boat as you sailed along. So actually what happened was that the owner of the boat, Clayton Ewing, decided to break us into, we were in two watches anyway. He decided that my watch was going to try to figure out how to sail this boat steer this boat with just the sails. And that the other watch, run by Lynn Williams, who was an engineer and leading one of his Clayton Ewing's companies, factories, was going to come up with a mechanical way of steering. And so we both worked on various efforts for a good 24 hours or so as the wind strengthened at first, then died, and then came back. And we'll get into how it all worked the next time.